Right, so I've taken you through some of the basic arm techniques, that being blocks and the punches. So what I'm going to talk about now, before we move on to the kicking side, is how to develop power and also to keep your moves controlled as well, because it's a fine balance between putting power into your techniques and also keeping them controlled, so you don't throw yourself off balance. So I'll show you a few ways you can achieve this. Okay, so one way you can develop extra power is to make sure you incorporate both hands into the technique. Now, obviously, when you're punching or you're blocking, you're only really blocking and punching with one arm. But if you can use the other hand in the movement, you can get power from both arms. So I'll show you this with the case of the outward block. You bring your arms across like that, and then when you do the block, you break them apart. This is called reaction. The extra hand is the reaction hand, and that generally will come back to either your hip or just the side of your ribs. Doesn't really matter which way. But the idea is that you've got power moving in both directions, and it allows you, in fact, it allows you to control the technique much better as well. If you just use the one hand, you'll find you'll tend to lose control of your body. It'll swing in one direction. If you've got the motion moving in both ways, you can keep your body much more stable, and it makes it a lot sharper. I'll show you again with a punch as well. You do the punch, the other hand moves in synchronicity with the punching hand, coming back to the hip, and then do the same thing. You can carry on punching like that with both hands. Always remember just to bring the hand back. You can even have this, even if you're not bringing it back to the hip. If you're doing like a jab punch, like I showed, the jab combination, as you throw the straight punch, the jab comes back, so it's working almost like a pair of pistons. Okay, another way you can develop power, particularly the techniques in a walking stance, is to use your hips. You twist your hips into the technique to develop extra momentum and to move your weight into the attack. This is particularly useful with a punch, as I'm now demonstrating. You move, the hips come from a sideways position through into the straight position to follow the hand. Right, so those are just a couple of tips to be able to put some more power into your techniques. Again, if you've got any questions or queries, you can contact us on the email address provided below. Another website you might like to check out would be www.taekwondo.co.uk. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time for the kicking demonstration.